we're heading into Mugello, which Rossi once famously opined that outside of winning the championship, winning Mugello was the most important thing that you could do in a season. Like, for him, that was it. Like, if I can't win the championship, I got to at least win Mugello, or the only thing that compares to winning the championship is winning at Mugello. Ev's actually been to Mugello and attended the race. Rabid
With
fan
Bossum.
base with Bossum. Shout out to my boy. Right. And what we're seeing is 3 Ducatis on the sharp end of the stick coming into this round. Can Ducati, steal the home win? Matt Birt was talking about, like, if Marquez is able to win at Mugello, like, it's almost over already, which actually flabbergasted me that they would do that, because, like, it's their job to keep you hyped. So to admit that something's almost over 6 rounds in is hilarious.
Wait, what's the other thing that people are complaining about? Oh yeah. That Matt Birt constantly announces spoilers for the other classes on the GP feed, not realizing that the entire world now is like, if everyone has paid for the feed, they're gonna watch it whatever the fuck order they want.
This goes back to my Malaysia. I'm not going to complain about Birt doing it, because he's not actually consciously doing it. He's actually he's almost too close to it, right? So
yeah,
despite the fact that GP, in terms of its riders, its staff, its press, all that is Eurocentric, its fan base, its emerging markets, its growing, like, where it's aiming is not Europe. And yet they can't see the forest from the trees. These guys don't realize that the majority of their fans do not watch their show live. And the majority of the fans, I would gather, although without any real data to back this up, this is just pure conjecture, don't watch in order.
Speculation. That's what we're known for.
Right, but here's what I could say. I'm an American fan. I live on the West Coast. The West Coast is the best coast. West Side Connection, Tupac, Ride or Die. But people don't watch the show live. So, and then generally,
I'm not staying up for that shit.
Yeah, or getting up that early, depending on what it is.
Or American, so it's different. But
or American, so when
but that's Kev's point, right? Like, if you compare to the Malaysian fans, the Australian fans, like India, the entire population of the people that have the emerging market, they're a large number of time zones away as well. So they're likely not watching this shit live either.
The main markets from which they are aiming to grow their revenue streams aren't watching live, and this dude is accidentally spoiling
it happens all the time. I hate it.
Right.
It's just part of the deal. You kind of, and I agree, they're just archaic, and that's just reality.
But that's the thing, right? Kev brought up, like, 1%, right? Like, that's exactly what even the marketing department and the feeds and all that is fighting for. If they can increase their viewership by 1%, that's a shit ton more revenue in terms of like ad revenue and all that stuff, right? You fight for those tiny percents, so you make sure that your announcer doesn't say the results, because then it prevents someone from watching the Moto2 race.
Right. This is amazing. This is as amazing as Moto2. When you're done with this, if you haven't seen it, you have to watch.
Go watch that, right? But if they ruin it, then I won't go watch it, because we all want the result versus.
And I mean, I guess and to add to the 1%, right? Like, they say the one thing, and only a couple of percent of people don't bother to watch it.
Can I add another thing? I completely agree with all that, but on the commentator note, no, I put this and I want to bring it up. It really annoys the shit out of me that these guys are commentating and getting annoyed by the fact that that Miller wouldn't race Petrucci at the end, or that right at the very end they kept saying, the commentators are saying, "Oh, he's not going to try." It was when Petrucci was trying to beat Dovi and he wouldn't try. They were like, "Why isn't he trying anymore?" And it's like, yeah, the fucking races, or was it Moto2? No, it was Moto2. I'm sorry, Moto2. The end of the race.
Bring it around.
It was Moto. I'm sorry, a little bit of bourbon. But Moto2.
Wine glass.
Moto2. Well, yeah, dude. Be resourceful. But you're derailing me again. I see what you're doing there.
Sorry.
In Moto2, the guy was in the front, and they thought that they were going to pair up in second and third and try and catch first. And then they had like 4 laps left, and they didn't make any ground in 2 laps. And they thought, oh, these guys shouldn't be racing each other for second place at this point. They should still be trying to work together to the bitter end. and it was like, you guys are so fucking out of touch with reality of racing. These guys are on the edge. They are fighting each other at this point, and then they started fighting for second, and they were like, "Oh, I can't believe they're not working together." I was like, "You guys are fucking dumb."
I mean,
That's not how this works.
it's a double-edged sword, right? Like you can say one thing and try to hype it up, but then what ends up happening is like the opposite, or it makes you look stupid and you actually didn't hype it up, right? They're taking everything that the announcers say is taking a risk.
Yeah,
like
fair.
Like
that's their job is the hype.
Yeah, I agree that that no fucking racer on the planet is ever going to fully commit to the I'm going to follow, like I'm going to work together with this guy to catch first place, because when you're in that racing mentality, it's I want to be in front of that guy,
and you're worried they're going to take off without you.
Yeah, exactly, right? There's
right, you
so
never
many sides
know
of it.
It doesn't matter if if Petrucci and Dovi say, shaking on it, shaking our hands, we're going to chase each other, we're going to follow perfectly in the line to catch Marquez. There's always that doubt. Is Dovi, who's in second, I'm in third, going to check out as soon as the fucking opportunity presents itself?
Oh, yeah. Is he going to fuck me and leave me to...
Right.
Yeah.
Or is he going to block past me, throw me offline, and then make me not catch him? There's
4 seconds.
There's no possible way to know like what someone is thinking, like in the totality of what they're thinking, like purely and honestly understanding. Like you can't know. There's always the worry inside there.
Fighting.
Like, it doesn't matter, right?
It's fucking fighting. And gloves are off.
And
Flag drops, gloves
exactly.
Are off.
Competition breeds that variability.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're not, because it is a competition, you're not going to trust that other guy.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was. So you're making a great counterpoint to my frustration of the annoyance of that. Oh my God, why aren't they battling or like helping each other to get, like they could have caught him? Like no, they had no fucking chance of catching him. He was on fire.
I think the announcers have literally only one job, and it goes back to what Kev has been trying to do this entire episode. Don't be a Deb.
Mm-hmm.
At no time.
You got to be dope. Everything's got to be awesome at all times. The number one job of an announcer is to observe the entirety of the race and know what the most interesting part of the race is and talk about that at all times.
Which, I mean, we get what, 4 days to ingest the race and find what is what we think was amazing and what we think was exciting. To do that on the spot, there's a reason why BrotoGP hasn't recorded a race commentary yet.
I was just thinking about that. I was thinking about
bullshit. I'll knock a race commentary out of the fucking park. The real reason we haven't is because I live in a repurposed barn with terrible internet, and I couldn't actually record live and stream the fucking race at the same time.